Going back to getting out of that bad relationship, you said that moment clicked for you sitting at the bar. I would imagine going back, with this new type of motivation that you have, trying to get out of that relationship. Was it as easy as, you make it seem like it was really easy, or did you have struggles getting out of that?
It was hell, if I can say that. It was horrible getting out of it. I tried. I even did baby steps. I knew what my end goal was. We lived together. It was my house. His name was not on my house. And in order to get rid, I couldn't just come right out and say, I'm done. I tried that, but then, he makes it nice and everything, and you go right back.
Mind games.
Yes, a lot of mind games. And so the only way I was going to get rid of him, I put my house up for sale.
Welcome to Beyond the Scale, the show where everyday heroes share their stories on how they turn their lives around for the healthier. I'm Coach Brittany, and today's guest is Vicki Griffin from Yorba Fit Body Bootcamp. She'll share how fitness has helped her escape a bad relationship and break out of her shell. Hope you enjoy. Welcome, Vicki Griffin. How are you today?
I'm great, Brittany. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for agreeing to be on the show and, really share your story with us.
It's my pleasure. I'm looking forward to it.
So I know you currently are a client at the Yorba Fit Body Bootcamp location. And can you just start off by explaining a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse all my adult life. I worked my way up. I went back to grad school, and I'm mostly in healthcare administration. I'm a single mom of a 12-year-old son. His name is Connor, and he is my world.
Did you know that healthcare was always something that you wanted to be a part of?
Luckily, I did. I think I'm one of the lucky few that even when I was in high school, I knew that I wanted to be a nurse. Okay. So I took all the healthcare courses when I was in high school and all the science classes. And I went to college right out of high school and got my degree and moved out when I was 20 because I wanted to be on my own. And it was great. I should have gone probably right out of high school, right out of college. I should have kept going, but I wanted to work, I wanted to make money. And I ended up going back and getting my bachelor's and then finally my master's.
That's awesome. And I know you actually graduated with a 4.0 GPA, right?
I did.
That is awesome.
I did.
Congrats.
I thought it helped being a role model for my son. My son was in elementary school at that time, so I went back to grad school. And I worked really hard. So he saw mom was studying at night, and so he would study. And I was really proud of myself that I did it on my own.
And now where do you think that drive and motivation comes from?
It's a good question. I always want to be the best that I can be. I think they always say you want to be better. Your parents always want you to be better than they were. My dad didn't even go to college. My mom did, but I wanted to keep going and going, and I saw people that were higher level than me at the hospital that I worked at, and I'm like, I want to be that person. So I kept going, and I wanted to prove myself that I can do it, and on my own. No excuses. Single mother, doesn't matter. No time. I'll find time. And I did it, and I succeeded, and just that personal sense of success was amazing.
I love that motto. No excuses.
No excuses. Nope.
So I imagine that there was plenty of struggles that you had to face along the way. Are there any big ones that really stick out to you?
With my school or with my life in general?
Just life in general and trying to get through school, raising your son.
I've always, struggles, not so much. I try to live my life that I don't look back. I don't want to say what if. So I'll take chances. I was born here in California, and then my parents divorced, and they brought me to Florida. And when I got old enough after I finished college, I wanted to come back here. This felt like home to me, and I still remember telling my mom, I'm moving to California in 3 weeks, and I packed my stuff up, and I drove across the country. So if I have a struggle, I'll face it head on. I don't let life beat me, and I want to experience life. It's a journey, not a destination.
I love that. I love that you have that mindset. Now, did you always have that mindset, though, when it comes to life?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know if it's just all the exercise and all the endorphins that are going through my body. I've always just wanted to experience life.
Okay.
I'm always curious. I want to know what's out there. I love to travel. I don't want life to pass me by, so I'll try new things.
Okay. And now, has fitness always been a part of your life from growing up to your adult life?
No, not really. I played softball when I was younger, and I was pretty good at that. But
just curious, what position did you play?
I was a pitcher.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yes. And we were pretty good. We went to state championships, and then I turned 17, and I got interested in boys, and like, okay, forget this. And then, I mean, I was always thin, and but I liked being outside, so I like ocean sports, scuba diving, that sort of thing. When I moved back to California, I kind of got into hiking, and I did like an outdoor type of hiking club, which was a lot of fun, and I really liked the people. The outdoor was good, but I mean, it's cold here. Then I got out of it and ended up in a bad relationship and gained a lot of weight, and then found Fit Body about a year and a half ago.
Got it. Now, you say a bad relationship. Can you explain that a little more?
We've probably all had one or another. I was with a man for many, many years, and I didn't realize that it was a bad, maybe I did, I don't know. Looking back at it, I truly don't know. I loved him, but probably didn't like him all that much. And I started gaining weight. And I started doing things I felt to please him, that it wasn't about me, it was about him. I don't really think you see it when you're doing it. I saw it after, and sometimes I'd have moments like, what am I doing here? But I kept doing it. You know, you love him, and oh, he's not that bad, and you do make the excuses. So maybe that's why I am the way I am now, because I did the excuses, and that's just not me. So I gained probably 40-something pounds, and I wasn't happy, but I didn't want to leave. And it wasn't a financial thing. I was the person that made money. I was more taking care of him. So looking back, it's almost embarrassing that I did that. But I think when you're in it, you don't really see it. And it took a lot for me to get out, but I did, and I have not looked back since.
And now, what do you think the light bulb was that went off to get you out of that situation?
The light bulb happened September 1st of 2016. I just had a really bad day at work, and I left work early. And I'm not a big drinker, probably socially. And I was very, very upset about something that happened at work. And I went to a bar at probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I had 2 drinks. I hadn't really eaten that day, and so I got drunk off of 2 drinks.
And was this with anyone else, or were you by yourself?
No, I was by myself.
Okay.
And I kind of it clicked. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I sitting here? I looked, and I mean, I was unhappy at that point because I would see myself with the weight. I was a size 18. And I wouldn't look at myself in the mirror, and I just kept buying more clothes. I'd buy cheap clothes. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this. But everything just hit that day. Drinking by myself in a bar. And I realized it was probably like 4 o'clock. I'm basically drunk because I had no food in my system, and I had 2 margaritas. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is not me. What am I doing? And I decided, that's it. I'm done. So a week later, I completely got rid of the guy. That day, I decided I'm going to cut down on what I'm eating. If I could make it all day, I'd been up for 10, 11 hours at that point, I can cut down on what I'm eating. So starting that day, I'm like, I cut down probably by half. I was probably taking in easily 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day. I would eat fast food all the time because it was easy. I think I was using food as a comfort. It made me happy. I do like food. And so after that, that was it. I haven't looked back, and I probably lost 15 pounds almost immediately. Stopped eating fast food, started eating better, not super healthy, but better. And then I started Yorba Fit Body in January.
That is awesome. Now, going back to getting out of that bad relationship, you said that moment clicked for you sitting at the bar. I would imagine going back, with this new type of motivation that you have, trying to get out of that relationship. Was it as easy as, you make it seem like it was really easy, or did you have struggles getting out of that?
It was hell, if I can say that. It was horrible getting out of it. I tried. I even did baby steps. I knew what my end goal was. We lived together. It was my house. His name was not on my house. And in order to I couldn't just come right out and say, I'm done. I tried that, but then, he makes it nice and everything, and you go right back.
Mind games.
Yes, a lot of mind games. And so the only way I was going to get rid of him, I put my house up for sale. And
that is a big move. That is a big move.
It was effective.
Yeah.
It cost me to but it was worth it. It was completely worth it. I put my house up for sale. I told him I was moving. I was switching schools for my son. And I told him that it's about my son. It's not about him. I wanted him to succeed. My son wasn't doing great in school. He just didn't feel comfortable in the school he was in. So I did kind of make a little bit of an excuse that way, because if I told him that it was him, he would have tried to make it right. And that wasn't an option, and I wasn't going to go there. I was already selling my house to get rid of him. He just needed to know that he was done. So I put my house up for sale. I told him that I was buying a new house, but he could not go with us. He said he had no money, so he found an apartment, and I paid for his first and last month. I gave him the couch, I gave him a TV, I bought him a bedroom set, and said bye. And so no, was it easy? No. And then he went from living in a 2,800 square foot house with me to a 900 one-bedroom apartment. Of course, he didn't have anywhere to put all of his stuff. So I ended up holding on to his stuff for a year, free storage, and then I'm like, okay, you're done. And so I called him however long later and said, get your stuff. You're either getting it or it's going to be donated to Goodwill.
Yeah, did that affect you at all, like just seeing his stuff there or knowing that it was still there and that connection was still there between you guys?
It did bother me to an extent. It was in the garage. I mean, I have a relatively large garage, and as long as I can get my car in there, I was okay. But every day I'd see, I'm like, okay, this needs to go, and I didn't want to be mean. I did want to help him out to an extent, but he wasn't my problem anymore. So I let the stuff stay for almost a year, and I called him like, listen, it's got to go. You have until this date to get it out. And of course, he gave me a hard time, but I was done. I needed to make sure that there had been enough distance and enough time in between the breakup so that I was going to stick with it.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I waited that long. And then I did feel bad, and I was talking to my friends. I'm like, am I being mean? I'm like, no, you've given this guy free storage and everything for the last almost year. And so I did it. But it took a while to gain the strength back up to face that again.
Yeah.
Because I think for whatever reason, he was my weakness, maybe because I was in love with him. Hindsight, I don't know why. But he was my weakness. But yeah, I was ready. When I was ready, I was done. And it was all good.
Yeah, when you're ready, it sounds like you definitely just took control,
Yeah.
set your dates, made your goals, and made it happen. So what kind of freedom did you feel when you officially cut ties?
Oh, it was beautiful. I told people I lost 190 pounds.
Oh, there you go. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, no more. And I am extremely happy being single. And I'm in a relationship with the gym. My boyfriend's name is Jim right now. That's what I tell people.
There you go.
Yep, I'm good. I'm good. I'm working on me. I'm dating me. Happiness starts here, nowhere
All
else.
within. So how did gaining that freedom and that control of your life affect your fitness journey?
Well, after that day in the bar, I cut down on what I was eating, and even though I lost weight, you couldn't really see anything because I was large at that point. I think cutting the ties, I was now able to focus on myself. So I started eating less, and in the new house I was in Yorba, I saw this Fit Body. I saw it advertised. I said, well, let me go check it out. You got to start somewhere. And I was only a little bit familiar with high intensity, what they do, but I liked the group personal training, and I signed up, and I wanted to focus on me. So it was me time.
Got it. Now, before going into your first workout at Fit Body Boot Camp, did you have any fears around going in and working out? Because I know you said you just did hiking before that. Or what type of thoughts did you have before actually going in?
I was scared to death because I'm a major introvert and I don't talk to people. I will be at work, it's no problem, but socially I'm awkward. Going to a social situation, I don't want to talk to anybody. I do want to talk to people, but I'm afraid to, if you will.
Why do you think that is? Just curious.
It's an introvert thing. You get into my mind.
Okay.
People make you nervous when you're introverted. People, just large crowds, make you nervous. You just don't feel like you belong. If that's the best way I can describe it. So I went in. I didn't know anybody. I didn't talk to anybody either. But I did it. But it was hard. It was hard, and I went every day, and I remember seeing people, people afterwards, they'd be talking, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe I can talk to them. But it took me forever. The trainers were great. I loved the fact that one of the trainers, Jen, she came up to me on my first week. She's like, I haven't met you. My name's Jen. That was so amazing to me. I was like, oh, yes, they pay attention. And it was very, very hard to start. I've been going there for about a year and a half now, and I love it. I've made all sorts of friends, and yeah, I'm very happy.
So what type of advice would you give someone that is currently in the shoes that you were in, first coming into a Fit Body Bootcamp location, feeling the same way?
You don't know until you try. I mean, come on in. It's not, I know it may feel intimidating. It's not, especially with Fit Body and Yorba Linda. It's amazing. I was afraid I would look at all these people, all these beautiful people, but it wasn't all that. I mean, there was people that, that were thin, there were people that were heavy, they were all in between, but everybody treated one another like family. It wasn't like going to like a big gym and you walk in and people are there looking in the mirror and like, good for you. It's not like that. It's more family than individual. And you don't realize that until you go.
And now what about the workouts? The workouts themselves, did you find it like really hard to accomplish them, or do you find that Fit Body fits all type of fitness levels?
It fits because they do modifications. So when I started, I can remember like a few things, like box jumps, which are horrible. I'd see these people jumping on these boxes, I don't know, 24 or 36 inches. And I'm like, I'm trying to do like 3-inch and I couldn't do it. But there were other people that were doing the same thing. And the trainers, when they go around in the morning, they will say, here's the exercise, here's the modification. If you need an additional modification, just let us know, we'll walk around. So everybody's at a different level, but they cater to everybody, which was amazing. So the box jumps, I'm seeing people jump like frogs, and I'm here trying to, like, I can't get my butt up here. Burpees, no.
Oh man, those are not my favorite.
I could not do a single burpee. I couldn't run. I mean, I'm picking up probably 5-pound weights, and I would look at other people and I'd be like, oh, I want to be her. I want to be her, and I can see how they can do this. And I mean, your first couple of days, you just want to die. You truly just want to die. But it's a good one to die because you go back the next day. And then you see a little bit more progress and you're able to do something that you weren't able to do yesterday. I'm still working on my box jumps. I'm only up to 21 inches, but I'm super excited with my 21 inches because I couldn't even do 3 or 6 inches when I started.
It's all about that progress.
Yeah, I mean, burpees I can keep up, no problem. Even EMOM burpees, which they're mean about, but it's okay. Yeah, so it's fun. I see people now that are just starting that are where I was a year and a half ago. And I'm able to see my progress that way. And I make sure to go talk to them. That's the person I'm going to go work out with. And I'm going to encourage them because I needed that. When I would run, I remember we'd have to do laps. And I couldn't even do 1 lap without walking. But I distinctly remember going around and thinking, okay, well, somebody's got to finish last. Might as well be me. And other people will say, come on, Vicki, you got this, you got this. Just that motivation, it gives you that extra push. And so I want to be that for other people.
So would you say that Fit Body helped you, being an introvert, has Fit Body helped you like come out of your shell?
Yes. They even got me. We have challenges, I don't know, a few times a year. And I was a team captain the last challenge, which was really big going out of my comfort zone because, and I knew a lot of people at this point, but there's a lot of people that joined with the challenges. And this was like the New Year's resolution challenge. And so there's a whole lot of new people on my team that I didn't know, but it forced me to go out and meet all these people. I'm like, so I'd go to them, like, okay, I don't know who this person is. I'm stalking them on Facebook, and I'm trying to find out who they are at boot camp, because I go at 5:30 every morning, and not everybody's as crazy as we are at 5:30. But I really went out of my comfort zone, and I talked to these people, and it helped. And when they realized that I'm an introvert, they're like, really? But I think it's healthy in life to push yourself outside of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely is. Would you say that, so being an extrovert, turning into an extrovert, should I say, at Fit Body, did that also help you in your outside personal life or professional?
I'll never say I can be an extrovert. I will, people call me extrovert Vicky. When that Vicky comes out, she's different. And then they joke with me, they want to know which one's real. But I like my alone time, I like my quiet time. But I do, if it's time to let loose, I absolutely let loose, and I'll talk to everybody. But I have to be in the right mindset. I probably have to get a lot of energy from within before I do that.
Get those endorphins flowing.
Yes.
Yes. And now, how has Fit Body helped your nutrition and eating habits?
Immensely. So when I first started, I just cut down on what I was eating. I stopped eating fast food, and I was getting results. But then I knew I could do better, and I felt that the more I exercise, I'm like, I'm doing all this work, but I'm still eating not great. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. It's kind of contraindicating each other. So I talked to the owner over at Yorba, and they gave me some hints and talking about like protein shakes, and they're very helpful with that. And they helped me with my app, my Fitness Pal app, which is great. So I started writing things down, and I think when I started writing things down, I really saw what I was putting into my body, and that was a really big mindset change. Seeing how much protein I'm eating versus how many carbs I'm eating, or even how many calories. I think that's one of the first piece of advice I would give somebody who's having difficulty with their nutrition. Write down what you're eating, because you may think you're doing one thing, but until you write it down, you could be way off.
That's so true, because I mean, myself, like, I'll forget what I eat in a day. Like, you forget the little snacks you have here and there, and it all adds up. So I think that's a great piece of advice. Thank you for sharing that. So what type of results have you gotten from FitBody?
Amazing results. I started as a size 18, and I am now a size 4, which is shocking to me.
Congrats. I mean, you look amazing.
But it's a mental thing. I went down, so 18, 16, I mean, I don't know how many size, I think it's like 8 size changes. I counted it the other day with a friend. It's hurt my wallet because I keep having to buy more clothes, but my mind has not caught up with my body. I know I can see the size and I put them on, but like it happens every day. I'll take a pair of jeans out of the closet and I'll go wear them, and they're like, I'll hold them up and it says size 4, and I'm like, these are not going to fit me, and they go on. So I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't know if I still see myself as heavy, even though I was really only heavy for about 5 or 6 years. I'm still there in my head. I don't see what other people see, if that makes sense. But I'm glad that other people can see it, because it's motivating to them.
Yeah, that's awesome. You inspire. Yeah. I know you inspire so many people. So when you hold up those size 4 and don't think they're going to fit, and you put them on, what does that feel like?
It makes me speechless, and I feel like a fool when I try to talk about this, because I've talked to other friends about it. I can't explain it. I look at them, I'm like, those are not going to fit. Or like I'll wear something and I'll do laundry, and they come out of the dryer, and I'm like, oh gosh, they shrunk 8 sizes, and I have to put them on to make sure that they fit. And I'm trying to. I'm speechless now. I don't even know how to explain it. But other people see it, and so that's the important thing. And I know it because I can see the number,
right? And
I put them on, but it's not connecting.
And I'm sure that will come with time.
I'm sure
it will.
I'm sure, yeah.
So how has your newfound fitness helped you with relationships with friends and family?
I think I've gained a lot of confidence. I'm happy. I will talk, even though I'm an introvert, I will talk to people when I have to. But just to have fun. I think that my outlook on life has changed. Negativity makes me crazy. I will not surround myself with negative people. I understand that, friends will have their issues, but there are people out there that will suck the energy right out of you, because it's always about them, and it's always just the negative, woe is me. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's time to fix it. Do something or stop talking about it.
Yeah.
True statement. I want to be positive. I want to have a good life. I'm trying to teach my son that. Yeah, he's like, oh, this is going to happen. Just think positive. What could happen? It's better that way. There was a quote that I read years ago that said, worrying about something that may never happen is like paying interest on money you may never borrow.
Ooh.
I have that on my computer, and I've had it for 20 years because it makes sense to me. Just let it go. What is it? Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, Hakuna Matata. I love that. No worries.
No worries. It's exhausting to worry. Just let it go.
It takes so much energy out of you that you can be applying to your fitness. So
yeah.
I mean, how much energy do you gain when you consistently work out?
People tell me if I ever don't work out, they can tell because I'm cranky. I get up my life is the same. I get up at 4:30 every morning. I work out at 5:30 in the morning. I go home, take a shower, go to work, and I'm fine. Now I'm in bed at 8:30 every night, but I'm okay with that. I own that. I'll go to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock on a Saturday night. Yeah. I don't care. I am happy. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm a happy person. I go through the day. I have a good day. I mean, of course, people get in the way every once in a while.
Of course, there's always going to be those
Sure.
struggles in life, those things that come up. It's always how you handle it.
Yeah, I don't let the little things bother me. It's not worth it. So I'm Hakuna Matata. I'm gonna keep saying that.
So what would you say to someone that's not as disciplined as you?
I think I would probably, if they were asking for advice, I would probably say that I had no idea that it was in me either. And I don't think I did. Even a friend of mine who hadn't seen me in a year and so didn't realize I'd lost all this weight, he said to me, he's like, I didn't know you were that disciplined. I said, either did I. And I don't even think it's discipline. It's just a complete lifestyle change. And I did it very slowly. I didn't do one of these fad diets like, oh, like starting here, I'm going to cut out carbs. I'm not going to do this. I know a lot of people do that. That's fine. That does not work for me. It's not sustainable.
Exactly.
I did not want to change my life so much that I was hurting for something, because I think you're going to binge. Like if you cut out something, you're like, oh, you're going to get to that point like I need it, and you are going to binge eat. I don't think that's healthy. So now if I want chocolate, I eat chocolate. If I want pizza, I eat pizza. But 90% of the time, I eat healthy. And I did it very, very slow. I didn't follow any specific diet at all. I just watched the protein. I'm like, okay, if I want 120 grams of protein per day, I'll make sure I get that. But if I'm craving something, if I crave a piece of chocolate, I go get it, because I think if I don't do it, it's gonna have negative results.
Yeah, it's all about balance. Life is about balance in so many different aspects, especially when it comes to nutrition and weight loss. Yeah. And that's why, like you said, a lot of those fad diets don't work. People cut everything out, lose it, and then you're just that much more likely to go back to where you were. Sometimes even end up like heavier than you were.
Right, and they'll lose the weight, but then as soon as they stop, if it's not sustainable, don't do it. That would be the best advice I can give. If you cannot sustain on eating this little, it's not going to work in the long run.
Yeah,
it's
you have
really
to make it a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Now, you talk about your 12-year-old son. How do you think the change in you has affected him and his outlook on life?
It has not changed him the way I would like it to, because he's 12, almost 13, so he's negative all the time.
He's going through those stages, though.
Yeah, and I think I did, the other day I did my boot camp, and I came home a little bit later because I decided to run a mile afterwards, which is unheard of for me, but I wanted more cardio, was more weights that day, and I hate running. I've always hated running, so I pushed myself to do it more because I want to get better at it. And I think I hate it because I don't like how I feel, because I feel like I'm dying. I want to get to the point that I don't feel like I'm dying anymore. So I just started, I couldn't believe I did a mile, and I got home and he's like, oh, why are you late? I said, oh, I decided to stay late at boot camp. He said, why? I said, well, I wanted to run. Well, how long would you run? A mile. How do you feel? I said, well, I'm exhausted. Well, don't do it, Mom. It's not the point. See, he hasn't gotten the point. I don't know if it's probably the age, but he looks at me and he's like, well, Mom, if you're so sore, like I regret having a 2-story house sometimes after glute day. Mom, why do you do it if you're hurt? I'm like, no, it's a good hurt. So I don't know if he just doesn't have the intellectual capacity yet to understand. So he's not as supportive as I would like. I really want him to see that, so I'm not going to give up on it. So, and he exercises. I mean, he's obviously in good shape. He's a runner.
Okay.
And he's faster than I am at the mile, and I let him have that, which is fine. So I don't care. You're faster than I am.
I'm sure he'll come around. You're a great role model. And
I'm trying.
No, absolutely, you are. Now, what does living beyond the scale mean to you?
The scale. The scale is not your friend. The scale is just a number. Living beyond the scale means getting off medication. It means feeling good. It means being able to teach your son how to ride a bike when you couldn't do it when you were heavier. It means just seeing progress. It means being able to take the stairs when you'd always take the elevator before. It means being able to do things. It's about your level of, I don't know if I want to say fitness or maybe just well-being, because I really don't think it matters how much you weigh. Who cares what the scale says? I mean, you could see a tiny little person that's muscular that weighs 135 pounds, and you can see a bigger person that's flabby that weighs 130 pounds. It's about how you feel. It's about how you look. It's about your outlook in life. It's about personal gains that had nothing to do with the number on the scale.
Thank you so much for sharing that and your story today with us, Vicki. It was a pleasure having you. And for those of you that are in the Yorba Linda area and want to join Vicki and her wolf pack at 5:30 a.m., make sure you go check out fitbodybootcamp.com. Even if you're not in the Yorba Linda area, you can still check out fitbodybootcamp.com and claim your 3 free sessions. Thank you again, Vicki, and you guys have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.